Hey Sam,
What?
you want to hear a joke?
I do.
A man, a woman, and a unidentified walk into a bar,
Oh, God.
and this podcast is cancelled. This award-winning podcast.
Award-winning podcast.
Yep. I'm doubling down on that.
Wasn't that like 3 weeks ago, though?
Yes, it was.
We need to get new material.
So people go back and listen to the old episodes. I will get some new material sometime, but, you know, I can't be asked.
Yeah.
So, everyone, welcome to Radioactive Screen, the award-winning podcast, hosted by me, Josh, and my co-host, Sam.
You're going to get there every week, aren't you? I mean, I keep forgetting to go there. Yeah. But I'll get you back. It'll be glorious. It'll be better. It'll ruin your life. And
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you'll be coming up with it all week and a half, because you're always ill.
I am always ill. It's true. I'm ill right now. I can barely hear you out of one ear. I've got this weird ear thing.
Sam!
Thank you.
Film!
Your neighbours are going to hate you.
The listeners are going to hate me.
Yeah. Well, they already do.
Hey! What listeners? It's fine.
That's a good point.
Hi, friends from work. If you're still listening after I've just...
Hi, other friend from my work who isn't going to be working there soon, but, you know, whatever.
Oh.
We'll just keep listening even when you've left us.
So, sorry about that original joke. I've just got to tick all the boxes. So, should we jump into the
let's go straight into this film and TV news, because we are, after all, a film and TV podcast.
And we're going to start with some non-film and TV news.
Are we?
Yep. So, Sony have announced for PlayStation 5.
Oh, right, okay. That's not film and TV.
I don't know, but I like PlayStation.
It's not the What Josh Likes podcast, which would be an extremely boring podcast.
Or would it?
Nah, it'd be alright.
I might have a few things in my closet that no one knows about.
Skeleton and a butt plug. But we don't know which one actually goes up his arse.
So, yeah, we've announced PS5. Moving on!
Yep.
Rick and Morty Season 4 has been announced.
Yes, it has. It's been announced for a while.
It had already been announced, but
they've released the trailer, which I haven't watched yet.
You need to watch it.
I will watch it. I don't know what it is about Rick and Morty. I was very, very heavily, because this is Season 4, isn't it? That's coming out.
Yeah.
So I got on the Rick and Morty bandwagon, I think just before Season 3 was released. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. Watched Season 3, loved that as well. And then, I don't know, in the gap between Season 3 finishing and Season 4 being released, I've just totally lost all interest in it.
Seriously?
Completely. And it's weird. Like, I will end up watching it, and to be honest, I'll probably enjoy it, but I think it's do you know what? I think it's the fans. Because you know how...
Toxic fans,
I'm not going to say all of the fans, but, like, you know, there is that very select group of fans that...
The Szechuan sauce ones.
Yeah, not only the Szechuan sauce, but the Facebook bricks, where they, like, start posting about how deep and philosophical they are.
Oh, yeah.
And how they're 100 times smarter than everybody else because they understand inner theories of a cartoon show. They don't. It's a cartoon show which is meant solely to be a black comedy. Like, get over yourselves.
And not to mention everyone on TikTok pretending to be Rick or Morty.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is that TikTok the app? The TikTok?
Yep.
That
terrible app.
Do you know what? I have actually seen some cracking videos on there that have had me howling with laughter, but it is literally like wading through an entire ocean of poop.
I'll be honest.
Just to get to the one molecule of greatness.
If I see a TikTok logo, I don't watch it.
Right.
Because I know most of it's shit. So
most of it is, yeah.
It's not worth watching. But I feel like you might be a bit, disinterested with Rick and Morty, probably because it's been like 2.5 years since Season 7.
That is Season 7?
Not Season 7. Oh my God, what am I on about? It's been a long day.
It has. It's been a long week.
It's been a long life. Yeah, so Season 3.
Season 3, yeah. Because I don't know why. I kept thinking it was only last year or the year before that it came, but it's 2.5, nearly 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah. I was having a look earlier because, yeah.
That makes sense. It could be that entirely, but yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I said, I definitely will watch it.
I think there was a couple of episodes from season 3 that didn't really hit the mark with me.
Yeah.
That's probably why, like, season 4 looks a bit... Well, from the trailer, it looks great. It looks like classic crazy Rick and Morty.
I'll have to watch it.
But yeah. So November 10th it's starting, and they're dropping 5 episodes.
Is it only 5?
Because they've not finished the rest of it, I don't think.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
And it's probably like a mid-season break kind of thing. I think they did it with season 3 as well.
I can't remember.
Or it wasn't released every week, I don't think. Sometimes they had a couple of weeks in between.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, they did. Yes, now that you say that, that does ring a bell.
I remember they dropped episode 1 on, like, April Fools, and then it was like 3 months until the next episode.
Which, genius marketing, to be fair, but, well...
Annoying marketing.
Annoying, but genius at the same time.
Well, yeah.
That kind of thing builds up the hype for it, doesn't it? But, yeah I'll go back when we finish recording this. I'll go home and I need to get myself some food, because I haven't eaten.
Me too.
Then I'll probably sit down and watch the Rick and Morty trailer, and then I'll go to sleep, and that's my evening, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that.
Fun.
So, what a life.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, to be fair.
Cool.
And a little segue to start talking about things that I've bought, because Dan Harmon, the creator of Rick and Morty, also created Community.
Yep.
And I've bought a load of Community Funko Pops recently. Yay!
Yeah.
It came from America, so it took like 3 weeks to come, but...
Were they cheap?
Like $7.50 each.
That's decent, yeah.
It's not bad, yeah.
Yeah, and that's good, because then you didn't get hit with a customs tax.
No.
Nah. Which customs charge, which they sometimes do. I'm lucky I've only had one.
For Funko Pops?
Yep.
Oh, right.
Because it all depends on the price of what they declare the official price of it to be. It's weird. Customs, weird. Don't know how it works properly.
I think the official price is about $10 anyway, because I got the Jeffrey Winger for $10, and that was from Amazon. The rest of them weren't. So I've got Jeffrey, Abed, Troy, and Chang. Yes.
They're still doing the Community film. They were supposed to... Yeah, it was rumoured for a while, wasn't it?
I don't think it's happening, if I'm honest.
I doubt it, because What's-His-Face is far too big for it now.
Donald Glover. Yeah.
And they'll never get What's-His-Face back, because he doesn't like him.
Pierce, yeah.
Chevy Chase.
Pierce,
yeah. Hence why they haven't done him as a Funko Pop.
I think I'd probably do a film without him if they had to.
I think if it came to it, yeah, but I don't think they could get Donald Glover back for it.
If they could get Donald Glover back, they'd definitely do the film.
We'll see. See.
I don't think it's going to happen, if I'm honest. Not at this point.
And then another kind of little segue from Community. Did you watch that Joel McHale show?
No.
It was bad.
Was it?
It was bad.
Was it like
it was
a
like
talk show kind of thing?
It was
like news every week, wasn't it?
It was like, Russell Howard's Good News. It was like the American equivalent of that.
Okay.
And Russell Howard's Good News was like okay for one season, and then you're like, oh yeah, Russell Howard isn't that funny.
I think that's still going.
Is it still going?
Yeah.
Jesus. The best part of Russell Howard's Good News was the comedians he got on at the end.
Yes. Yeah.
So the other comedians that weren't him. It's like, Russell Howard was alright on panel shows, I thought. He wasn't someone who could hold his own show or his own stand-up as well as as good as he could be on panel shows. I think he was one of them who worked best when he was bouncing off other people.
I don't mind his comedy, to be honest, because I think he's got a Netflix special out.
I haven't seen that, actually.
Yeah. It was alright, actually.
Some of it's decent, don't get me wrong. Some of it's decent, but I don't know. Yeah. That was a massive segue there. Let's zoom back into the next bit of news, I'm guessing.
The next bit of news. We got a trailer for the new Walking Dead series.
Oh, God.
Let's just move on.
So it's not the continuation of the Walking Dead.
No.
Which I don't even know what season they're on now. If that's still going. I hope it's been cancelled because it was bad.
Nope, it's on season 10 now. But its premiere's drawn like the lowest it has since it premiered or something, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked extensively about The Walking Dead on previous podcasts.
We're not big fans.
And, well, I'm of the, quite frankly, unpopular opinion that season 2 was by far the best. And then after, I think halfway through season 3 was the last time it was good. And then, yes, the second half of season 3 was just pure garbage, and then it was pure garbage up until Negan came into it. And Negan, every scene he was in was brilliant, simply because of how good Jeffrey Dean Morgan is, but they stopped putting him in quite often. And it was bizarre to me how that show has lasted as long as what it has.
I gave up on it on season 7.
Yeah.
I've tried to watch it so many times, but I always give up.
People tell me nowadays, like some people who I talk to about, film and television and whatnot, and they say, "Oh, Walking Dead, it's one of those I haven't quite got round to yet." And I just literally flat out just say, "Just don't bother."
Yeah, do it.
Don't bother. There's no point. I found out as well. So they're doing the Rick Grimes film.
Yeah,
they're doing a Negan film as well.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's sort of like it's going to be a timeline jumps all the way through it. So him before, him after. And again, like as good as Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in that role, that is just totally unnecessary.
I think I'll go watch it, to be honest.
I mean, I don't think I'd go to the cinema to watch it. I don't know what that was. Go. I don't think I'd go to the cinema to watch it. I think it's one of them when it inevitably comes onto Prime or Netflix for free. I just watch it on there when I've got nothing to do one night. But like, it's probably the same with the Rick Grimes film, unless we get insanely popular and people want us to review it.
I mean, Makeup Movies, it's $2.50. This is not a sponsored ad. But if you want to sponsor us, then please feel free. So yeah, it's $2.50. I'll go watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the new Walking Dead series seems to take place like a few years after the outbreak.
Yeah.
And it revolves around a bunch of kids, basically, who have grown up like during the outbreak. But it looks like humanity's kind of rebuilding, and then they just go out into the wild for some reason and start.
It looks like what you've just said there. One of them, their dad went out for whatever reason, maybe to find resources. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm never going to watch it. But to go out and find resources, and then they decide they want to go out and find her dad and experience the zombie world.
Yeah, and then
the trailer has this weird upbeat,
really hopeful feel to
like
it.
It's going to be a coming of age story with the backdrop of a zombie apocalypse, and it just looks pure and utter putrid garbage.
It's Warm Bodies, but it looks even worse.
I never saw that.
Never seen it either, but it's a love story between a zombie and
Fear the Walking Dead was critically panned by pretty much everyone, and I think the fans hated it as well. Even die-hard Walking Dead fans hated Fear the Walking Dead.
Are there any at this point?
Good, but I don't get how these are still getting commissioned, and yet there are TV shows out there that have been cancelled, that are really like they cancelled. I know it's been brought back, but they cancelled Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and
that has like,
I know it's different.
I'd say a cult following.
I'd say it's got a massive following. It's got a huge following. I think the Brooklyn Nine-Nine's problems was that because it was Fox, wasn't it? Brooklyn Nine-Nine's problems were twofold. One, Fox just in general, and their penchant for just cancelling shows for no reason whatsoever. And two, I think a lot of people just wanted to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Netflix, or a lot of people
true.
would download it, and they just turned around and went, "Oh well, the ratings on our channel ain't great. Right, bye." So
I mean, Fox have been known to cancel any show they don't deem like worthy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which I suppose as a network you would, but
it's not that. I don't
considering
know if they just random. I swear they just pick them out of a hat. Like,
probably.
The amount of time they cancelled Family Guy like 3 times, didn't they? Even when it was at the peak of its, like when Family Guy was good, they cancelled it. You're just like, why? But they've never cancelled. And touch wood, It's Always Sunny. That is still going, and I want that to go until I die, and then as soon as I die, that's when they cancel it, even though the cast may long be dead.
The cast will probably be dead.
It doesn't matter.
Danny DeVito will be gone.
It doesn't. No, Danny DeVito will never die.
He might just live on as Penguin.
I don't know Frank. See, I don't know Danny DeVito now as anybody but Frank Reynolds. That is him now. I don't care what he's been in the past, even though he's a fucking phenomenal actor and has had a glittering movie career. He is now Frank Reynolds, and that is it.
I mean, I can just imagine that's just him in real life, to be honest.
Watch the show and then you'll...
I've seen bits.
Watch the show properly and then...
Okay.
I don't think that's
and then
true.
comment. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Watch it like 15 times in the space of 4 months or whatever it has been for me.
I don't know how you wouldn't just get bored.
I don't know how I haven't either. It's just amazing.
Like, I've just finished like my 10 for 12 run of Community, but that's over a space of a few years.
No, honestly, It's Always Sunny has probably popped up into my top 5 favourite TV shows of all time.
Wow.
Don't know why you went Owen Wilson there, but there you go.
Why not?
Yeah. Anyway, news.
Well, so yeah, Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah.
Looks shit. It's oddly hopeful, but
to be fair, that is the one time a segue of ours is absolutely justified, because it's just a giant metaphor for The Walking Dead. You know, you watch it and then you just realise you would rather be doing anything but, so then you start doing that anything but, and that's what we just did there. We don't want to talk about it, so we started talking about something else.
Okay, so shall I just move on to the next bit of news?
Unless you actually had a big point to make about The Walking Dead.
Well, the comic book series ended in I suppose a similar way, because humanity was kind of rebuilding. Although it was like Maggie was president or something, and all the group of survivors had like big jobs and stuff like that, and it was really weird. Yeah, it was strange.
Ugh.
So, moving on.
Yeah.
1917.
I remember it well.
Hi. Back in there. Yeah, so the new Sam Mendes film.
Yep.
We have a trailer for it.
Mm-hmm.
And a featurette.
Yep.
So it's a World War I film that's done as one shot.
Yep.
And it looks fucking amazing.
It does look great. Yeah. I do like my World War 1 and 2 movies.
Except Dunkirk.
Yeah, Dunkirk wasn't great.
I've still not seen it.
And a weird one, The Thin Red Line, bored me to tears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hailed as a classic. Not very good.
I've still not seen that one. Is that Mel Gibson in that?
No. I think it's like an ensemble. It's like got Woody Harrelson and I think Mickey Rourke's in it, or he got cut out of it or something like that. No, it's not Michael J. Fox. He's in another one. But yeah, I wouldn't bother with it. It's not very good.
Yeah, so 1917.
Yeah.
It's Roger Deakins as cinematographer.
Yep.
And Sam Mendes, so director of Skyfall. So I think you've got good talent behind the camera. And it's got Bendel Dick come on my back.
Benoodle-oodle, coodle-woodle.
You know?
Yep.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I'll go see it.
It's got Tommen Baratheon. I can't remember his name, but he plays Tommen Baratheon in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yes. That's all I have to say.
I mean, I've not seen enough Game of Thrones to comment, really.
It's got Richard Madden in it as well. Mark Strong.
It's got quite the cast, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dean Charles Chapman, that's his name, who played Tommen Baratheon.
But yeah, I just love that it's all apparently filmed as one shot. I don't understand how they've done it like that.
Yeah, I think we were discussing this before the podcast. I think it's going to be like a Birdman kind of thing, where it has the appearance of like every sequence in it has been done in one shot.
Yeah, there's going to be like...
They'll splice it all together to give the appearance that there aren't any cuts within the film.
Yeah, there's going to be like sneaky cuts in it. Like in Daredevil, in episode 2, there's a fight scene that looks like it's all done as one shot, but they'll like move the camera into Daredevil's back and then pull out.
Yeah.
And that's basically where they hide the cuts.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're going to do something similar, because I don't know how,
I
don't know how they can move the camera from like rig to rig without it looking jarring.
There'll be ways to do that. They're experts in their field. They said on the featurette that they have done that. You know, there's parts where they've moved the camera off a wire, off a crane, onto a mini Jeep, or just have literally someone carrying it.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
The way to do that would probably be, as the camera is having to undergo that movement, it's probably going to be at a point where there's like an explosion or the action starts, so all of a sudden it matches with what's going on on screen, if you get me.
Yeah, I'm sure they've done enough rehearsals and stuff to know what looks good and what doesn't.
The most interesting part about the featurette, actually, when they were talking about that, especially from a filmmaker's perspective, was when they were talking about the lighting, and like when they were shooting
all natural light, isn't it?
During the day, like all natural lighting. That's an incredible feat.
Yeah,
to have to actually.
I mean, they're not making the mistake that they did in that Game of Thrones episode in season 8 that I've obviously not seen, so I can't really comment on. But apparently, it was so dark that no one could see what was going on.
Yep.
And they said they chose to use all natural lighting.
Yep. In a battle at night. Yeah.
Great.
And yeah.
We wanted you to experience what the soldiers were going through.
Now, in all fairness, I watched that particular episode on Sky after I'd recorded it, and I know Sky's recordings do dip in quality, so I wasn't sure whether it was just my Sky box at the time, or whether it was actually a fault with the actual production.
Yeah.
A lot of people came out and said had the same issue, so it does tend to lead to the fact that it is a fault in the production. But I kind of am interested in watching it when it comes out on 4K to see whether it was actually that, to see if it makes it look any better. But also, I was so annoyed.
I wouldn't say it's a fault with production. I'd just say it's a stylistic choice that didn't go down too well.
Yeah.
Like,
if it genuinely is, once it's all released in 4K and it is as bad as what I remember it to be, then it's a huge misstep. Like,
really?
Appallingly bad. There are, not even kidding, there were literally parts in it where you cannot actually see what is happening. Genuinely.
I kind of get maybe they wanted you to feel like, I don't know, one of the soldiers and their vision's a bit impaired.
No, but to the point where when it's like one of the main like a tiny little bit potential spoiler alert here. I mean, it's been out for a while now, but there's a point where one of the main characters is on a dragon in the sky, and you're like, what? Are they on the dragon still? What is the dragon doing? Is there a dragon? What is happening?
Breathe some fire so I can see something.
Yeah, literally, that was it. And the only time you could actually see something is when they did actually breathe the fire, and you were like, but even then you're like, oh, breathe fire. Oh, no.
Oh, it's a dragon.
Nothing.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad.
Okay.
Yeah, 1917 looks really good.
Yep. And it looks like it's lit well.
Yep. Moving on.
South Park's been banned by the Chinese government.
Oh, I saw something about this.
Yeah.
It's all on Prime and Netflix now. Woohoo!
Is it?
All of it.
I may have to binge it.
That's what I think I'm going to do. After this running of Always Sunny, I'm going to go to South Park, and then I'm probably going to go back to Always Sunny.
But yeah, I may have to binge watch South Park now.
Yeah.
I've not seen it for a few years, so I'm a few seasons behind.
Yeah, same here, actually. The last season I watched was the Member Berries.
Member Berries?
Have you not even seen the Member Berries?
I can't remember.
Oh,
what season was that?
Member? I think it was 14, I think. I'm not 100% certain.
It's probably similar for me as well, then. Yeah, I don't actually know why it's been banned
by the Chinese government.
Honest. But I was speaking to one of the guys at work about it, and he said the episode basically, Stan owns like a business, and he wants to sell it to China, because apparently China buys everything, and that's the joke of the episode. So he's on a plane, and Captain America and Iron Man are on there, because apparently Marvel want to sell their properties to China. I don't really know why it got banned for that, if that's the reason.
Yeah, that's weird, but
that cannot be the real reason.
Oh man, I loved South Park.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. When you always talk about like which ones were the best cartoons, everyone goes, Simpsons. No. South Park was always head and shoulders above the rest.
Simpsons was good for a long time.
Yeah.
But then it dipped.
Yeah. Weirdly, South Park actually didn't actually start out that strong, but just got better and better and better as it went along, I thought.
I think it's always been pretty impressive from what I've seen.
It's always been impressive. I just don't think it started out as strong as nowhere near as strong as what it is now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've not seen it for a few years, so I can't really comment on what it's like now, to be honest.
Actually, yeah.
But the fact that, I don't know if they're still doing it, but at one point they were writing and animating an episode within a week.
Yep.
And putting it out there. That's insane.
Yep.
And the quality of the animation is top notch as well. So if they're still doing that, then hats off to them.
Yeah.
Like, bloody, yeah.
Yeah, because that was when it was the Member Berries, and it was all I think it was the American elections were going on.
Okay.
Because literally everything they were doing was being broadcast a couple of days after whatever had happened in the American world of politics.
Yeah.
It's just why it was so poignant.
It must have been longer than that then, since I've seen it. I cannot remember when I stopped.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it all.
I've got a lot to watch.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say it's probably one of the best animations out there.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Like dark comedies, I'd say. Yeah. So shall we jump onto the big bit of news?
The big bit, yeah. Let's do it. The big bit of news or the big...
I say big bit of news. The big segment on this.
The big segment. Because it is a big one.
Yep.
It is a big one.
I mean, look at the title and you'll know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But so, Joker is now in cinemas.
It is.
And we have both seen it.
We have.
And we're going to go first off to Josh's one-word review.
Excellent.
Yeah, excellent. I thoroughly agree with that.
I think it's one of the best films released this year.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree as well. It's especially to say I was quite skeptical before going in about how they would do it, how they would pull it off, how well it would actually work.
I mean, we knew Joaquin Phoenix's performance would be perfect.
Yes, we are. Yeah, he doesn't do bad performances. Yeah. He might do some bad films here and there, but his performances are always stellar. Yeah. And honestly, I think this is the best one he's done.
I think the main worry for me was that it was going to be all style, no substance.
See, I didn't really have that worry. For me, it was more of and it was probably just me being pedantic, but it was more of a worry from, the actual story of the Joker and from that kind of standpoint where I was getting a bit worried. But
the fact that we have an origin for him, kind of thing.
But the way they did it was absolutely brilliant.
The way they've done it's pretty great because, well, I'm not going to go too far into spoilers.
No, we're gonna do this is our spoiler-free bit right now, and then we'll go into a bit of a spoiler bit, but we'll tell you, don't you worry, as we always do, when the spoilers will start. But yeah, it's talked about what you said there, where you thought it was going to be all style, no substance. The best, it was both. It had absolutely everything, and it has these moments where you just feel so uncomfortable at what you're watching, and it's just everything lends itself to that, the performance, the sound was one of the best parts about it, I thought.
In what way?
So in the sense that when you heard a gunshot, it was just it almost seemed amplified to really put you off. And
this is another thing that I was thinking, all this controversy in America.
Yeah.
About it being such a gory film and everything. I mean, it's R-rated, so obviously it's going to have a bit of gore to it. There wasn't actually as much gore than I thought there would be.
No, there wasn't actually. Yeah, you're right.
I think it was just well placed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because the gore did come at the time where it was, I'd say, most unhinging, most creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I came out of a film and had a proper discussion about gun laws in America. Because I follow someone on Instagram, a photographer, and he posted a photo after watching the Joker on his story, and he was like, I've just seen the Joker, and there were 2 security guards with assault rifles at the back of the cinema. I've never been so ashamed to be American. Fucking what is going on with America right now? I mean, I've segued completely.
Yeah, just a little bit. But and just at the time of us recording this, I know there's been a lot of controversy around the film. I'm going to put it a pointless controversy.
Absolutely.
It's almost like an attempted smear campaign by the not only the American media but the British media as well, because they've done the exact same thing, just trying to make something out of nothing with regards to this film. I mean, at the time of recording, right now, nothing has happened. Everything that they were saying was going to happen, nothing happened.
I mean, that's also because
which is great.
The worst we get over here is a few teenagers after Fast and Furious driving a bit quicker.
yeah, pretty much.
That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, the film as a whole was just spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. And I suppose there's not much more.
Honestly, I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
But if there were to do, let's say, a sequel, because obviously it's going to make mega bucks.
It is, yeah.
What would you do for the storyline?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I would leave it completely alone. I think what works so great about it is that it is a standalone film, and I don't think anything else is needed.
The problem is, I agree with you, but I also want to see more of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Now, this is a point that I can make to you, but I would have to go into spoiler territory to do so.
Okay, maybe if I can just give us an alternate, origin story. Just keep doing that.
Well, I mean, that is actually something that technically they could do if they wanted to, because
in the DC Comics continuity, there are 3 separate Jokers.
Yes, well, it's not only the 3 separate Jokers, but there's also aspects within this film where they could go into an alternate kind of Well, that's the wrong word.
Well,
there are aspects of this film that could lend itself to be able to set up a sequel and have parts of it not erased, but like...
Well,
I can't really go into it without going into spoiler territory.
Well, in the comic, Joker's always been a bit of an unreliable storyteller.
Yes, yeah.
I could see them doing something like that.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't want another Joker origin story, to be honest.
No.
As much as I say it'd be pretty cool.
No. But that's why I think this one is just perfect as it is. Like, as a standalone, I don't think there needs to be any more.
I did just read Brian Azzarello's run of Joker, because he did like a Joker graphic novel in which Joker's basically a crime lord. It was pretty cool. I think I'd like to see some form of Joker as just a bit of a badass like that.
Well, that was kind of Heath
Which
Ledger's,
I suppose we got in
that was Heath
Dark
Ledger's,
Knight.
That was Dark Knight. Like, so this is what I mean. Like, I think that, the last bit, what I will say, spoiler free, is that this isn't a Joker that you've seen before. This is actually an entirely new take on this character. Yeah. And whilst a lot of my reservations going into it about, how are they going to do this? How are they going to center a whole film around a guy who is literally the epitome of evil? They twist that.
So you kind of
sympathize. Yeah, exactly. But they don't do it in a way where you go, well, then that's not the Joker, which would have been so easy to do. So that's like really a testament to how good the writing and the directing really, really is. Shall we move on?
Shall we drop the spoiler warning?
Yeah, we're going to drop the spoiler warning right now. That was our spoiler-free review of Joker.
Basically, go watch it. It's probably one of the best films out this year.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take something seriously special to top it. And now we're gonna go into our spoiler talk. Talk about the Joker movie that's just come out with Joaquin Phoenix. So if you haven't seen the film yet, stop listening now. Go watch it. Come back. Press play again, and then you can join in this wonderful chat that we're about to have. So
he's an unreliable storyteller.
Yes,
which.
A lot of it that's played on heavily in this film. So there's a lot of...
Like Zazie Bates' character, who is apparently his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Turns out he'd only
all,
ever met her in a lift. It's all in his mind.
Yeah, a lot of it... I mean, I sort of picked up on it quite early.
I kind of noticed things.
Yeah. There were some things that I did notice, and the whole Zazie Bates thing, I was like, right, okay, that's not actually happening. Yeah, so there's a lot of the film, it sort of plays with the idea of, is this reality or is all this in his head? Is this his fantasies? And the brilliant part about that is that all those things actually start to occur when he starts to come off his meds. And yet, weirdly, he seems to get a lot more coherent. So the whole thing behind his laugh, the story behind his laugh, which his laugh is fucking perfect. It's actually a condition he has, which I thought, again, was a brilliant...
It was an interesting move.
Touch.
Yeah.
And a word on his performance when he's actually doing that. He actually genuinely looks like he's in pain when he has one of those attacks. But do you notice as well, like, those attacks seem to stop after he kills the three guys on the train, and he stopped taking his meds. All of a sudden, he just seems to get this weird bit of clarity, and
he got a few more laughing fits. Like when he got
there was a couple.
He got fired from his clown job.
Yeah.
Laughing fit then,
but like,
It's
really...
And by the end of the film, he's not laughing at all. Like when he's outside of the hospital when his mum's...
Yeah.
After his mum's had the stroke and everything. And the two policemen are like, so is this for real, your condition? And he's just like, what do you think?
Yeah. So as far as you were saying about a potential sequel, I don't think it would work in the sense of, so this is a completely new reimagination of the character. So like what you were saying, there's a rendition where the Joker is like a crime lord, and that was like Ledger, the what was the comic run that you said?
Brian Azzarello's Joker.
Right, okay. Whereas this Joker,
he's not a crime lord.
But it's like, this isn't a guy who could go toe to toe with Batman. Even, what the Joker is all about is like, it's his smarts that he uses and how he can juggle so many things at once, like so many plans. This isn't a Joker that can do that. I mean, this is a Joker essentially with the mind of a child.
I mean, it's also going to be like 15, 20 years till Bruce Wayne's old enough, so I don't see him coming up against Batman.
And that's what I mean, and that's why I don't think it would lend itself to a sequel, because this is a guy who's literally is just like, oh right, yeah, I did this because the world was just kicking me down and down and down into the gutter, and I snapped, basically.
Hence his final joke.
Yeah, but it's not something where I don't think he'd be like, oh, right, no, I'm going to do this because this is my plan and this is how I'm going to execute it and blah, blah, blah. He's not a Joker that can think like that.
Well, no. And I suppose Joker in the comics has always had Batman to fight against.
Yeah, to bounce off.
But then again, this is a different rendition of Joker, so I don't know. I can maybe see him taking on the underworld kind of thing, but not Batman.
I'd say I couldn't even see him taking on any form of underworld crime or anything like that. Like, yeah, it was perfect as it was.
Because at the ending of the film, he's kind of done what he didn't set out to do, and he's become a symbol for the, like, downtrodden. So he kind of has his own gang.
Kind of.
By the end of it.
Yeah.
I love the way that Thomas and Martha Wayne died in the end.
Yeah.
Essentially,
again, really
Joker
well done.
Created the Batman.
Yeah.
Which is kind of Batman 1989 style.
That's kind of...
But I spent the film thinking, right, so he's just going to shoot, he's going to be the reason the Batman's created.
That's kind of like what has always really been the Batman story, but in reverse. Because in a way, it's Batman, it's always been Batman that has actually been responsible for creating the Joker in a sense.
Yeah.
Because the only reason...
I mean, we couldn't really have him fall into a vat of acid in this, because that would have...
But yeah, so like the only reason why the Joker actually puts on the clown makeup in the first place, like we don't know anything about his actual origin or his official origin, but we know the fact that he puts the clown makeup on is because he's seen this person who's dressed as a bat, and that's why he does it. And it's like that whole thing, Batman in trying to make Gotham a better place actually created his greatest adversary kind of thing. Yeah. So it is kind of that whole thing in reverse, which was great. Yeah, it was really well done.
It was a great point.
Yeah.
Because, I spent a lot of the film guessing plot points. Okay, so when he opens this letter, addressed to Thomas Wayne, it's going to say, this is your son. And I was right with that. And then it threw me a curveball when it was like, this isn't actually your son.
Yeah.
Your mum abused you as a child, which makes sense, considering how he turned out.
It wasn't his mum that abused him as a child, it was his mum's boyfriend.
His mum let it happen.
Yeah,
so
she let it happen. Yeah.
And with the whole death of Thomas and Martha Wayne, I thought it was just going to be him shooting them rather than someone else.
Like, it was causing the riots. Yeah. What I really, really liked about it as well is that it had a lot of... Have you seen the Scorsese film, The King of Comedy?
I've not seen it, no.
It's got a lot of nods to that film, not only with just De Niro being in it himself, but almost being the reverse of the character that he played in that actual film. But yeah, it's got a lot of nods to that,
and a lot of nods to Taxi Driver as well, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Although I'm not actually the biggest fan of Taxi Driver. It was decent, but I thought it was a little bit overrated.
I've seen it once, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, but one of my greatest fears going into it was that they were going to make him an extremely sympathetic character, which he is in this film. And I was scared of that because, to me, the Joker has always got to be a character where you just cannot sympathise with him in any way. He is literally evil down to the bone. Again, they just managed to do it in such a good way. He's not as sympathetic as what I thought they were going to make him, but he still has that level of sympathy. You do sympathise with the guy.
I would say you start to sympathise with him, and then he goes and kills someone. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, I don't really sympathise with him now.
Yeah, you just sympathise with his circumstance that led him to do so, and that's... Again, real life connotations. People do these things because of circumstance out of their control around them.
Yeah, stuff about
but we could go down a whole other rabbit hole with that sort of stuff. Shooting people is bad. Stop shooting people.
Yeah, like when I left the cinema, we were also talking about serial killers on death row.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of interviews with them discussing how they basically came to be. Like, there's a lot of interviews with them talking about their childhood and stuff like that, and they've been through a lot of similar stuff.
99% of them are always properly messed up.
Yeah. A lot of them have been, like, beaten as a kid and stuff like that, so it's very real world.
Okay, this was a horrible thing to hear. Like, so as soon as we got out... Little Sam turned to me and went, do you know what? I was watching that whole film and I was thinking, that would be you if you snapped one day. I was like, what? It's like, oh, thanks. Thanks for that. It's nice to know that you think I'm capable of just going and shooting a bunch of people. Awesome. Thank you.
I mean, you have dressed up as a clown before.
I have dressed up as a clown before. It's true. I dressed up as the Joker.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the warning signs are there.
We live in a society. Wait. But it's not the nicest thing to hear, that.
No, not really.
No.
I can see it, though.
Right, where's my gun?
Shit. I'm going to bang my head against a wall. But there is a midget in the corner as well.
It's a good job. That is a joke that you can only make when you've seen the film in the spoiler review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say for a film called The Joker, it's unintentionally funny.
Yeah, it has some very dark comedy moments in there.
But also, like we were talking about
one of
podcasting.
the performances. That's obviously you see this in the trailer anyway. But like he wants to be a stand-up comedian, and there is a couple of stand-up comedian segments in the film in the background. Some of the jokes that they tell, by the way, absolutely brilliant. Had me trying not to howl with laughter in the middle of the cinema, because it's actually not a bit where you should be laughing either. Like
No.
the bit that follows it immediately. But Jesus Christ,
I mean, we are in a spoiler review, so you can talk about it.
It's not. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but we all know which one it was. It was the disabled parking bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a chest infection and I was trying not to laugh, which was triggering my chest infection in me into coughing. It was a bit awkward. It was a little bit awkward.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah. So, and I suppose the last thing I can say about it is that and this is me being extremely pedantic, but also it's not, because I'm not actually bashing the film itself. The only disappointment that I had coming out of it is that I was going, okay, so I'm still actually waiting to see a proper comic book to movie adaptation of the Joker, because this isn't a comic book Joker.
We don't need that.
I think we do, but we need it in a well-established Bat universe where it is Batman going up against. We didn't need it from this film.
No, like, are you saying you expected it to be like?
No, I didn't expect it to be. But that's what I mean. That's why I'm saying that's how good this film is. Where the only disappointment isn't actually anything to do with the film. Well, no, sorry, I did expect parts. I did expect, because I know they came out and said, "Oh, this isn't your typical Joker." But I did expect them to draw on certain elements, and
I mean, they drew on, I'd say, the Killing Joke.
Ever so slightly.
Well, his origin in the
it's
Killing Joke
just
is supposedly that he's a failed comedian.
Yeah,
In the comic book, he does it.
but it's a very, very small.
He does it to support his pregnant wife.
But yes.
Robs Ace Chemicals, who he's working for at the time, and then the Batman creates him, essentially.
Yes.
So it's slightly inspired by it.
And what I will say is one of the last things that I very, very much enjoyed is that they did do a lot of... He did put his viewpoint across quite evidently in the film about his view on SJW culture. Because I think Todd Phillips has gone on record as saying the reason why he moved away from comedies is that he was getting fed up with a lot of comedians out there making just one joke and then that being their their career ruined because of one joke that a handful of keyboard warriors on Twitter didn't appreciate. And he puts that across, if you go and watch it, in the interview at the end with Murray when he's actually on the show. There's bits of it where it's brilliant. It's brilliant the way he does it.
I can't say I noticed that, but I'm going to go back and watch it.
Oh, I want to go back and see it.
Because
I'll probably go try and see it again on Friday.
Yeah, I might have to as well.
It's a date.
What are you doing Friday? Let's do it.
Absolutely brilliant film.
Probably
10 out of 10 would recommend. Already pre-ordered it on 4K Steelbook.
Nice.
Can't wait for that to come out.
I'd pre-order it on 4K as well, but apparently a PS4 Pro doesn't support it. Fucking tossers.
Yeah.
Hopefully they fix that in the PS5.
So here's an interesting one then, just to start rounding this up. Someone asked me where he stands then in the overall grand scheme of things of the Jokers. Joaquin, where would you place him? I mean, the first question was he better than Ledger? And my response was they're not actually comparable.
They're not similar.
They're not similar at all, which is another great thing about the Joker, is how you can have so many different renditions of the character. He's such a rich character. But
I mean, I would say, like, Batman, there's really only one rendition of him. The fact that he doesn't really kill and he lives by a moral code.
Is that trying to ruin that?
Well, yeah, true. But the Joker, there's just so many versions of him that you can't really pin it down to one comic book adaptation of a Joker.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem that they're going to have going forward, because they're not going to go with, what's his face's Joker? Jared Leto's anymore.
God. No, I choose to forget that ever happened.
Even though we've got the new trailer for Harley Quinn.
And we forgot to talk about that.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah, it looks
Let's
awful.
move on.
Ewan McGregor, that's the only reason we're going to go see it.
He's not even wearing a black mask.
He's not even wearing... Oh, yeah, but they're not going to reveal that in the trailer, are they?
No, no,
That'll
true.
be later on.
It's probably end at film kind of thing.
Possibly, yeah.
Yep. But moving on from...
Yep.
Birds
Looks
of Prey, 'cause
terrible.
it looks terrible.
Go watch the trailer. Blah, blah, blah. Back to Joker.
Odd up. Back to Joker, yeah. Yeah, but
No, we encourage people to go do it, then they make their own opinions. Anyway, back to Joker.
No, just listen to us, guys.
That's true.
Yeah. Back to Joker. Yeah, there's so many renditions of Joker that you can't really pin it down to one.
Yeah.
It feels harsh to even compare Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix's
It does, yeah.
performance.
I don't like comparing them, but like I'm going to push you to do it anyway because I enjoy seeing the torture. But I'm not actually saying compare them. So what I'm saying is like, well, I'll go for your personal favourite. Where would you rank Joaquin?
I'd say for her acting ability, they're both on par.
Right, okay, good.
Both Jokers.
That's good.
And then it probably has to be, for live action anyway, Jack Nicholson and then Jared Leto.
Not going with, I can't even remember.
You're thinking Mark Hamill?
No.
Cesar Romero?
If you're going for live action, Cesar Romero, but I didn't actually watch any of that. So
I've not watched enough of
so we can't do it.
the 60s Batman show to know.
See, if you're not just if you're going with like other versions as well, then Mark Hamill is always going to be number one. I think
he's up there, but I'd say Heath Ledger.
Yeah, it's weird. I think I would actually say as a performance from the actor, I think Joaquin Phoenix's actual performance in this standalone film is better. But if you're going if you're saying who got it closer to what we know as the Joker, I would say Heath. But again, they're not very comparable, and they're both so good in their own right.
Yeah, and this isn't meant to be what we know as the Joker.
Yeah, true.
It's a completely new take, so
yeah.
It just feels hard to compare them.
Jared Leto was terrible, and Jack Nicholson was just Jack Nicholson who happened to be dressed as the Joker.
Yeah, I rewatched that last week, and I was like, this is weird.
Bad. Very bad.
It's a lot worse than I used to think it was.
Bad.
It's just every scene with Jack Nicholson in, I'm just like, no, thank you.
It's because it's Tim Burton, and Tim Burton's garbage.
But he was better than Jared Leto still.
He was better than Jared Leto, but Jared Leto never happened.
So, to close off the podcast, go watch Joker.
Yes.
Best film out this year.
So far. Probably will end up being, but yeah, so far, definitely.
As excited as I am for Rise of Skywalker, I don't know if it'll top it.
I don't think it will, but you never know. Can't see into the future.
Nope. I've got the hope.
If only, I'd be rich.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's... I'm good with that.
Yep, that was our Joker review.
Yay! Spoiler-free and spoiler.
Yes.
And
so,
one word.
If you want to give us a like on Facebook and follow us on everything and Twitter, and
we're on the Facebook, we're on the Twitter, we're on the Instagram, we're on the YouTube. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, share us with your friends, pass us around. Oof.
Yep. Right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.